by the 1880s, Courtland was a thriving community surrounded by fertile farmlands. They also had a large population of Chinese farmers and laborers. They helped plant the numerous pear orchards in the area and helped build river levees. When the United States entered the Second World War in December 1941, many answered the call to serve. In 2021, Chinese American veterans were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal in recognition of their wartime service and contributions. Good morning. Dorsey Sue is one of those veterans from the small Delta town of Courtland. You were born on February 1st,
1927.
1927. I'm delighted to talk with you today. Your name is very unusual.
It is.
Yes. Can you tell me about how you came to get the name Dorsey?
Well, I was born down the ranch, two miles away from Courtland, the town of Courtland.
What did your father
He's
do?
a gardener. He's the gardener for that mansion.
He was the gardener for the mansion.
Oh, real big yard.
So let me get this straight. There were two major owners of this ranch area. It was called Dorsey and Runyon. So you are named after one of the owners, Mr. Dorsey.
Yes.
So that is how you got your name,
Yes.
Dorsey.
He's a jolly old man.
Oh.
Because my dad passed away, see. And then this jolly old man,
Mr. Dorsey.
Mr. Dorsey, he said, you can stay as long as you need to.
What a nice man.
Right in front of him, right there.
That's interesting. So your father was a gardener.
Yeah.
For the family, for the Dorsey / Runyon Ranch family.
Yeah.
What about your mother?
She was just, because Tommy, Marie, and I'm the youngest one.
So they had 3 children.
Yeah.
The oldest,
Tommy,
your brother Tommy, your sister
my
Marie.
sister Marie. I'm the youngest.
And you're the youngest.
Yeah.
Okay, you were born just a little bit outside the Courtland area.
Yeah.
Were you primarily raised in Courtland or Isleton, or did your family move?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
When I was small, my mother took my sister and me to Alton, because before we moved, she heard about some family, the wife passed away, so we moved into the 2 small daughter and a gentleman, because his wife passed away, so he needs somebody to kind of help take care of the 2 kids.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so your mother did that and brought 2 of you there.
Yeah.
Your brother Tommy
stayed
in Courtland.
Yes.
But you were a small child
Yes.
at that point.
I was a baby then.
Okay, you were the baby then.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but my reading tells me that until 1942, many of the schools, well, you were probably a teenager by then, many of the schools in the Delta area were segregated.
Yes.
Okay, so you were aware of that.
Yes.
So they had schools for Asian children. Did you go to these schools? I assume that you went. So do you remember?
First, second, and third.
You went to Bates?
Yes, Bates School.
Bates School.
I think that's what it is.
What do you remember?
School. Yeah.
Okay, grammar school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was like going to school there, or do you have any interesting memories from attending?
Only one good memory.
Well, tell me about your one good memory.
I broke a window, school window.
You broke a school window. Oh, right. Now, how did that happen?
With a slingshot.
With a slingshot.
Bad boy.
Bad boy.
Then that evening, we all went to Chinese school, and that's where the sheriff come in and took us to the jailhouse.
You got arrested?
Yes, we got arrested.
Oh my goodness. How old were you? Elementary school?
9 years old.
You were 9 years old? You have a record already. So tell me what happened after that.
Oh, I cried. And then my sister said something about need $1 from my mother to get me out of there.
Oh.
Yeah. So I really, from this day, I don't know that she ever came up with $1 and give it to the sheriff to get me out. I don't remember that.
You don't remember that part. You must
Yeah.
have blanked it out. But you're here today talking to us. So somehow somebody got you out.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with $1. Maybe it was Mr. Dorsey.
No.
No. In 1942, by now the war has already started. And of course, in the Delta area, there was a lot of farming done by Chinese and Japanese families. Do you remember when the Japanese families had to leave
I don't know.
their homes?
I was in Courtland.
Okay. But probably families in Courtland had to leave.
Yes, I remember when they leave because I bought the bike.
You bought a bike?
I bought a bike from one of the Japanese people that have to move out. He didn't want to drag that bicycle with him. It's too difficult to move. So I paid $20 at that time. That's a lot
of money.
Yes, a lot of money.
Where did you get $20 from?
I really don't know. I had it in my pocket.
You had it in your pocket.
So
You had
somehow,
your
yeah.
hard-earned money, and you bought a bicycle from one of the families,
Yes,
from one of the boys
in Courtland.
in Courtland.
Yeah.
Did you understand at the time why or where these people were going?
I know they're going to the camp, but I don't know which camp.
Okay.
I know that they all have to leave. At that time when we go to grammar school, it's either Japanese or Chinese. That's all. No white.
So Chinese, Japanese children went to the same school.
Yes.
So it's very possible that when the families had to leave for camp, if you had classmates who were Japanese,
Yes.
they left.
They're mixed, Chinese and Japanese. And white kids, they have their own school.
They had their own school, yes. And then later, around that time, it ended, and schools were no longer segregated. So it must have been interesting growing up
You know, in
on the
Courtland,
river.
I tell people, they've written on the school, Oriental school, and people don't believe me, you know, little kind of stuff. Amazing, you know.
You're right, they were called Oriental schools.
After that war, they tore it down and built another school, and then they mixed. That's what I.
Yes, that's exactly what happened after that. Okay, so now we're getting into the mid-1940s. You were born in 1927. You joined the service in 1945.
Yeah.
Were you still in high school, or had you just finished?
No. I'm still in high school.
Why did you join?
If I let myself draft, I only can go in the army. So by enlisting, I didn't want to go army, so I have to enlist before 18th birthday.
I see.
If I wait till 18th birthday come up, I have no choice. I cannot join the Navy. The Army got me.
All right, so let me understand this. If you were going to be drafted, if you waited and you were going to be drafted, most likely you would go into the Army.
100%.
But you wanted a choice.
Yes,
So you chose the Navy.
yes.
Why the Navy over?
I figured that I don't have to march. That's one of the reasons that I decided to join the Navy, so I don't have to do all the marching.
Now, a little bird told me, and I think it's one of your children,
Oh,
told me you don't know how to swim.
I don't.
Did that ever enter your mind when you joined the Navy that
Yes.
spends a lot of time on water?
Yes.
Did
but,
you think that it would help to know how to swim?
Yes. While I was in there, I have me and some other friends that don't know how to swim. We have to go to class after everything is over. You know, all the other base. This is extra.
Oh, you did extra.
Yeah, so-
Okay. Yes. After
Yeah.
basic training,
Yeah.
you did to learn. You took swimming lessons.
Yes, we have to.
Oh, you had to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's all scheduled for us, so we have to go.
So when you signed up for the Navy, did you walk me through what you did? Did you go to an office in Sacramento, or was there one in the Delta area? Do you remember?
Either Courtland or Sacramento,
Okay.
because I was living 2 miles away from the town of Courtland.
Yes.
That's Runyon and Dorsey.
Okay, you were living on the ranch, the
Yeah.
Dorsey and Runyon Ranch, and then you signed up to go into the Navy. And where did you do your basic training?
San Diego,
Oh.
California.
Had you been out of Sacramento area? Was this the first time you'd ever been out of that you had left the Sacramento area to go to San Diego?
Yes, that's the first time.
What was
San
your
Diego.
impression of San Diego? Even
Well,
though I
I-
know it was during the war.
Yeah, I was 18?
Yes?
Yeah. I think it was 10 months, 8 or 10 months, 1 month, I think, 1 month basic training.
Mm-hmm. And then tell me what happened when you finished your basic training.
Okay.
Where did you go?
We got assignment. We went to what do you call that? San Pedro?
San Pedro?
Yeah. At that time, I was assigned to San Pedro. They have a destroyer. It came back from the war 1 or 2 years. They're having what do you call redo or
Repairs or
repair,
fixing it
all
up?
that. So we stayed there for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and we slept through all that pounding and rivet because they're trying to get it done so we can ship us out. By the time they get it done, we got the first order, say we have to go to Pacific. Then the next day, cancel.
Cancel. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, so I understand that the ship, the destroyer that you were assigned to, the name of it was the USS Sigourney. Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
Okay. So you did the cleaning. Did they ever give you any other technical training to do other jobs?
Make sure I know how to load the 40-meter, what do you call that?
Cannon?
Missile?
Missile? No, not
No?
missile.
Bomb. No.
We don't have missile in those days then.
Oh, all right.
The canyon, is it?
No, it's one of those 40-meter
Shell?
Yeah, those shells that come in 4 in the clip. All I do is load it. The other 2 guys was leading, to shoot. So we have that. So I was the loader.
You were the loader of
Yeah.
these shells.
Yeah, they come in 4 in a clip.
Mm-hmm. So you stayed on the ship while they were doing all the repairs and fixing it up to go, and then you got orders, the ship got orders, or your unit
Yeah.
got orders to go where? Back to the Pacific?
The first day go to Pacific, but then the second day they cancel the Pacific. We take a flight, I don't know how many, but a week to get up to New York. We spent 5 days there. Before we reached, it was winter time. The ship was going up and down, and I got seasick. Oh my God! All 5 days. I was on one of those beds, slept for 5 days.
Not a good sailor.
No.
No, not a good sailor. Do you know why your orders got canceled?
The war's over.
Because the war was over.
Yeah.
So this is 1945?
I think 5.
Okay, so now the ship is all repaired, ready to sail, but you're not going to go to the Pacific. So instead you go to New York, to the East Coast. Okay, so you were one of many men and women from the Delta area that volunteered, that enlisted to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces. You chose the Navy. Did you know any other friends who also enlisted, or did they enlist with you and join you on the ship? Did you have any friends or know anybody from the Delta?
Wally Fung.
What was his name?
Wally Fung.
Wally
Yeah.
Fung?
Fung. He noticed that I was in Charleston and he was in Norfolk or some other place.
In Virginia?
Yeah, down there. So he came by and visited me. Yeah.
Oh!
That was a surprise because I didn't expect him. He didn't let me know. He just come up and show his face, and all of a sudden he stood up.
And you go, I know you.
Yeah.
How did he know that you were there?
Oh, he had a sister that we used to write letters and correspond to each other.
You used to correspond with his sister?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see. I see. It's before you met your wife.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Way
Way before you met your wife. Now I understand. Okay, so now you're in New York, and then you went down to South Carolina. The ship. What happened after that? Where did you go? Where did the ship go?
Nothing.
Nothing. You stopped. The ship
Yes.
docked,
Yeah.
or
10 in a group.
10 in a group. And then how did you get back to California?
When my time to leave, I have paper that you serve your time. You can.
You
go
were
home.
you
Yeah.
were your discharge papers.
They give me a Greyhound ticket
Uh-huh.
and give me a train ticket. The Greyhound ticket is from South Carolina to New York, and then from New York I hop on a train 5 days across, night and day. I set up. I have no bed for 5 days.
Did you have to travel in your uniform?
Yes.
Did they give you any special
No.
compensation?
Whatever the belonging you have, that's it.
Your duffel bag?
Yeah. I carry that when I get off from Alton. That's
Did they
what
treat you didn't get you any special treatment?
they give me $300
Oh, they gave you $300?
for
Okay.
monthly outlay.
You know, one thing that I want to know, I know that many service people in the Army were in segregated units. What was your Navy unit like? Were you integrated with other,
Yeah.
with other nationalities?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever feel discrimination?
No, not there.
You didn't.
I'm the only Chinese.
You were the only Chinese?
And no Japanese.
You were the
Chinese.
only Asian
Yes.
in
That
the
ship.
unit.
I think it was 200 or 300 sailors.
Sailors? 200 or
In that-
300 sailors? You were the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
one. Now, your older brother Tommy was also in the service. Did he enlist? Did he get drafted? What do you remember? Because you served around the same time. He went in before you, right? A little bit before you into the service?
I think he did.
Yeah.
You know, Tommy is 3 years older than me.
Yeah, he's 3 years older than you, yes.
And we never really hang out too much, even though we sleep in a small home. You know, he's always go out on his own to his friend, same age,
So what I wanted to know is, after both of you came home, or came back to California, after your discharge, I understand that, I don't know if he spent time in the Delta, but he eventually ended up in Oakland, California. Did the two of you ever talk or share stories about your time in the service?
No, not really.
You didn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's keep it quiet.
He kept quiet about it. You know, the Congressional Gold Medal is the highest civilian award in the United States, given to people for their service and for their duty to the country. Were you surprised to get it?
Yes.
How did you feel when they gave it to you?
I was proud.
You were proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good, and you certainly should be.
Yeah.
You certainly should be. Now we're going to fast forward to what happened to you and what your life after the war. You were discharged from the Navy in 1946.
46.
You already told me how you got home, the long train ride and bus ride to get back to California. What did you do, or where did you go once you got home?
Well,
Was it back to the Delta?
back to Delta, Alton.
Back to Ileton?
They dropped me off at Alton, and I saw two people on the street. Foreign, each one to be in
Mr. Foreign Lee
and Elsie.
and Elsie.
Elsie, I think, her name.
They came to greet you?
No.
Or you just happened to
no,
see them on the
I
street?
just happened to be walking by with my double bag, and walking home. And it's only two on the street, nobody else. It's like a dead town.
So how did you feel? Were you happy being
Yes.
home?
Oh yes, yes. Like with the $300, man, I'm rich.
You felt rich? Well, that's good. Okay, so you went home with the $300 in your pocket. Did you get a job working? Did you go back to the branch, or where did you go, or what did you do?
I was in Alton with my mother and,
All right.
and my sister, Marie. When the cannery opened, I go to work there for
I see. Okay.
1 or 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Courtland, to my father's place, a ranch, and my brother, so we stayed there.
When did you decide to go to Sacramento? Because you ended up in Sacramento for many years. What was your decision?
After, that kind of embarrassed me, when I broke the window. That's part of the reason why I left.
You left town when you were only 9 years old. Okay. And you had to go to jail. They were trying to teach you a lesson, I think. All right, so you didn't want to stay in the Delta for too long, even after you got out of the service?
Well, before the school start, I packed my bag, like Marie said, my sister. Oh, he packed his bag and left town.
Okay, but somewhere along the line you met your wife, Susan. Tell me the story about how you met Susan.
Well, one person that when you're boys and then the gals, they always stick together. One of the guys said, you can't ask her to go out. She won't go out with you.
She won't go out with you?
Yes, because in her life at that time, laundry business.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, parents probably won't let her go out on a date. That's what he meant. It's hard to get her to go out with you, have a date with you. So that kind of gave me a little, maybe I'll try anyway. So that's how we met.
So you met the challenge. You but you met her at a dance.
Yes.
Where?
Was it
YMCA?
white? Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of those YMCA. They come once a week, every Saturday or Friday.
Something like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you went to this dance. You saw Susan.
Then where we go from there?
I don't remember.
How long have you been married? How long have you been married?
Well, we had Craig. Craig is what? 18 months before we had Craig.
It's in 54.
So around the mid-50s, 1954? You think you got married? What was the month you got married? Do you know your anniversary date?
April 4th.
April 4th. That was very
What
good.
year? What year?
What year? 1954, I think.
Good.
That's what Craig told me.
Oh,
All right, so you have 4 children. Do you know how many grandchildren you have?
7.
7 grandchildren. And I see pictures all over your home. I know you're very, very proud of your children and your grandchildren. Now, you and Susan got married, started raising a family, and what did you do what was your occupation?
A draftsman
A draftsman.
for the state.
What department for the state of California?
Architecture.
Oh, architecture department. Okay. Okay. You stayed there for a long time.
Yes,
35 years.
yes. 35 years.
Almost
Not-
all at that one department?
Most of it was the other department.
That's pretty good. There aren't too many people nowadays, they start at one department and stay there for 30 plus years. But I heard you're a golfer.
Yeah, but I didn't start golfing till later.
Oh,
Yeah,
but you did something you enjoyed doing?
I didn't do much until when I reached 35.
Okay.
That's when we start.
Okay.
That's when I start.
That's when you started
Yeah.
golfing. Well, it sounds like you've had a very interesting life. Growing up in the Delta, getting put in jail when you were 9 years old, getting terribly seasick on the ship,
Yeah.
going to the East Coast, being the only one standing in the front of the deck, and going through the locks at the Panama Canal, meeting your lovely wife, Susan, raising a wonderful family. It's just been lovely talking with you, chatting with you, learning a little bit about your life story. I think it's important, especially that our younger generation, your children, your grandchildren, and hopefully one day great grandchildren, understand who you are, how you got to be where you are today, your contributions during the service. I know you said you didn't go abroad, but you made sacrifices and you contributed, and that's why you deserved to get the Congressional Gold Medal.
The easy way.
It might have been the easy way, but it's well deserved. And I must say, Seaman First Class Dorsey Sue, thank you for your service.
Thank you.